Hi there guys, Diana Seitz here. It's the first week of December, which to all music majors means one thing only. 'Tis the season to play juries. That's a very stressful time for us. And as the stress is going up, unfortunately, our performance level tends to plummet. And with that comes discouragement, which makes it harder and harder to stay motivated in our daily practice. So this is why today I'm talking to you about my 3 favorite practice/life hacks that help me to stay motivated in my daily practice by keeping my practice the most effective, but also by helping me to stay positive during the process, because it's that positive mindset that eventually spills into a confident and a rewarding performance experience that we all desire so much. Hack number 1, learn how to ask the right question. For example, if you tend to play a certain part of a piece out of tune, don't throw your hands in the air and ask yourself, why do I always do this? Or how am I ever gonna play this in tune in a concert or at the juries if I can't even do it in the practice room? Those kind of questions are not helpful. They are a waste of your time, waste of your breath, and most importantly, they're very discouraging. Instead, ask yourself a what or a which question. For example, which notes are exactly out of tune here? Or what is it that I'm doing here that is making me play out of tune? That will lead you exactly to the epicenter of your trouble. And once you've identified the problem, ask yourself, what are the steps that I can take to make sure that I learn how to play this in tune and I keep playing this in tune? You see, by employing this process in your practice time, you will be amazed at how much more effective your practice will become, and that will keep you very motivated. Hack number 2, turn your what ifs around 180 degrees. I'm talking about those little fears and negative thoughts that go through your head. For example, if you have a hard time memorizing, you might have that fear of going blank at your juries or at your performance. You're thinking, oh my gosh, what if I take the wrong turn on this Bach and I end up going back and I will never finish, and it'll be like that, this is the song that never ends, and my juries will last forever and ever and ever. You know what I'm talking about. Those what ifs, for some reason, they always tend to be negative. But the very fact that we think of what ifs is because we don't know exactly that the outcome is going to be negative. It's 50-50, or in our case, it's usually 80-20, sometimes 99 to 1% that something can go wrong. And yet our what ifs always end up with a negative, right? So what if you turn that what if around, and every time you think of a what if, think of those 99 or those 90 or 80% that you can do really well. And imagine that scenario instead, and think of that. What if you nail it just like you just nailed it in the practice room at your juries? Imagine the reaction of the faculty. Imagine the amazing comments you're gonna get, right? Why not concentrate on that? I mean, we don't know what will happen anyway, so it's completely up to us what we should choose to anticipate. And believe me, it makes a huge difference. I started doing it not so long ago, and I realized that I stopped procrastinating because there are a lot of things that I didn't want to do just because I kept those negative what ifs outcomes in my head. Once I start thinking of a positive what if, guess what? It's much easier for me to do that task. And even if it doesn't come out with a positive outcome, I actually don't stress myself that much anyway. And of course, once you get ready to perform, it's very important to avoid all the negative what ifs and concentrate on positive what ifs. And really imagine the reaction of your audience, the reaction of your jury members, the reaction of your teachers on what if you do this so well, just like you did yesterday. Of course, you can't lie to yourself. You have to use the real examples. You have to really be able to nail it many times in a row to really make it effective. So don't lie, don't try to lie to yourself, but be honest. If you tend to nail the spot 8 times out of 10, then think of the what ifs as a positive. Think of what if I nail it just like I nail it today, 8 times out of 10, really, really well? That will revolutionize not only your practice, but also your performance. It will definitely make your performance much more confident. And finally, last but not least, hack number 3, make sure to appreciate and celebrate your progress. Learning to play a string-bowed instrument like violin, viola, cello, or bass is a very long process, and most of us do not remember how it felt trying to make a sound on our instrument for the first time. So I will show you this exercise that I developed as an empathy exercise at first, but then later it really helped me to appreciate how far I've come from the time when I tried to make sound on the violin for the very first time. But I'd like you to join me if you can. So if you have a chance, pause this video, go grab your instrument, whether it's violin, viola, cello, or bass, come back and let's do it together. Are you ready? All right. So I'm going to just play something very basic like Kreutzer Etude, and you can think of something else too, the same or something that is kind of comparable. So let's go. Most of you can probably play this in your sleep. So here's where the fun part comes, or embarrassing part for me. So I'm going to switch hands. I'm going to take my violin into my right hand and my bow into my left hand. And I'm going to try to do the same and see what happens. And notice my lovely bow hold. And my amazing pizza hand here that I tell, oh, I'm already losing my shoulder rest. Give me a second. Okay. Are you trying this too? I hope so, because that'll make me feel really bad if I'm all alone in this. All right. Take 2. Trying to put this violin under my chin without losing whatever shoulder rest. Okay, so here comes Kreutzer reversed. There's no way I can do this. I can't even play a few notes. How about you? Did you do a little better than I did? Well, let's try something much less ambitious. How about good old Twinkle Twinkle, shall we? Let's see what happens. Oh boy. But you know what? Actually, it's really great, because if you try to do this with me, now let's go back and play something else again, something much prettier, maybe some Bach. You get it now, right? So can you understand now how far you've come, and how important it is to remember that, appreciate and celebrate it? So make sure and do that every day. Do something like that every day that will remind you about what a long way you've come, because that will definitely motivate you to keep going and help you to keep that positive attitude, and will give you a wonderful, confident in performance experience. Well, this is it for this week. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you. And I would love to hear from you if you were able to use any of these hacks in your preparation for the juries or other important performances, and if they were helpful. It would just really bless me and make my day. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please share in the comments if it was helpful to you. And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so by clicking a little red button below. And don't forget to hit the bell icon. This way, when I post my next video, you'll be notified. Until then, have a wonderful week and happy hacking.